Hello everyone and welcome back to the Spearhead cast. With me, Matt. Level 3 for you all here on Calais Revamped. Again, I seem to get a lot of maps on battles on Calais for some reason. Anyway, let's go through the players. It's the Western Front today. We have Muru as the United States without a command choice. We have Unterkommander, also as the United States, without a command choice. And finally, Maverick, starting straight out the gate with Ranger Company for the United States of America. Should be interesting. Flips into Germans today. We have Silver Wolf as Jäger Tactics for die Waffen-SS. We have Germany Parks as Panzerdivision for die Wehrmacht. Finally, Nobby Gops as the Waffen-SS without a commander choice yet. But the Germans are going to push for the center here rapidly with the Sturm Pioneer. Actually, those are normal pioneers, my bad. Sometimes it's hard to tell at a glance, but there are some differences. I guess you can see here, they do have a little bit of a difference in their model. Germans are slowly spreading out. I think the main thing with it being the revamp version is there's a lot less side blockers. From what I remember when I look at it. Like a lot of the side blockers and such have been removed or replaced. Just a variety of things like that. Germans are digging in back here, very nice. Americans are gearing up for an assault, evidently. Lots of Americans down here against these Sturm Pioneers. Sturm Pioneers are trying to hold them back thanks to the stone wall here. I'm still trying to talk a little bit slower from now on, and I want you to kind of tell me if it's better or not. Looks like we also have a commander choice here for Nobby Gops. Looks like it's a mechanized, mechanisierte. Really a very interesting choice. Get some access to half-tracks very early. They're also getting a Kuppelwagen and MG-44 at the moment. Jaegers are currently engaging with the United States down here. US has brought out a Jeep to support, with its 30 caliber on top. Americans sticking in the center. I think the Sturm Pioneers might be in potential trouble, depending on what that Jeep does. The Jeep is now targeting the Sturm Grenadier, probably a good decision. But Germans are staying in this engagement for a while. Probably waiting for that machine gun to get here. Germans are preparing to push on the northern flank, evidently. Kuppelwagen is going to provide some mobile support. They just need to take out the gunner and the Jeep there, and then the Sturm Pioneers should be able to retreat safely, I think. They're not having the luck with it, though. It looks like the Sturm Pioneer might still make it. Yeah, he does. That's pretty good for the Germans there. We have a flank of Volksgrenadiers on the center American. But they are getting caught in the crossfire now. Good button flasher though, force the riflemen to move. But I think the Volksgrenadiers just have to pull back at this point. We do have a small pack as well. I rarely see this unit pulled out. But they can kind of stop Jeeps and other light vehicles dead in their tracks early game. Jäger Tactics is digging in heavily here. Looks like the mechanisierte Waffen-SS had a little bit of a push. With an American 30 caliber machine gun arriving though. Sturm Grenadiers are moving on into new positions. You can get the MG-34 with 100 rounds if you're playing as a mechanisierte, which I always think is a better weapon for them than the MG-42 if you're playing as mechanisierte. But you could actually double down on both when you're playing as that commander, giving you access to both machine guns, which can turn your Sturm Grenadiers into quite the powerhouse when it comes to machine gun fire. We have a command choice in the center. I think this is Tank Destroyer. Yes, that's indeed Tank Destroyer. So we have Ranger, Tank Destroyer, and nothing else on the southern flank yet. People are still picking their commanders. You have a half-track arriving here, which is one of the things you can do as a mechanisierte. Just get the half-tracks very early. You don't even have a base structure up yet, so it kind of shows how early you can get them. We have lots of rifle fire going on around the front line. But Germans so far seem to have shored up. Still no command choice here. The southern flank for the US of A. Double half-track coming onto the field for the mechanisierte. So I guess the Germans are going to rely a lot on it. Looks like they're going for the MG-42 first, which is not a bad choice. They can actually get both. They cost the same. Let's see, and yeah, they're gonna jump inside the half-track, I think. For its intended purpose. It's gonna be like a mobile machine gun platform, basically. Several 30 calibers arriving in the center here for the US of A. That's a lot of 30 caliber machine guns. That's gonna be a nightmare for any German to push up on. That is gonna be a lot of firepower for the Allies to deal with on the northern flank here. And they have no AT equipment at the moment. Yeah, so those half-tracks could actually just run over the American front line. Americans do have anti-tank rifle grenades though. And they do have this 30 caliber now using armor-piercing incendiary. That's not armor-piercing incendiary, just armor-piercing. But they're not really having a good time hitting the half-track at the moment. So I think the front of the half-track is actually armored enough. At the range anyway. Yeah, I have double half-tracks that can actually capture the point while they're fighting. This is good mechanized play because this is the kind of stuff you can pull off. Just half-tracks very early that can do a lot of damage. Ooh, grenade assault from the Storm Pioneers, very nice. Completely neutering the American front line here. Now the half-tracks just drive up and murder everything. Good rifle grenade though, but didn't do enough damage. Another rifle grenade, that's good. That at least slows down the Germans a little bit. They still have one half-track ready. There's nothing wrong in doing a 2v1. There never is, especially in a team game. That's kinda expected. Like, if you don't want to have 2v1s, don't play team games. It's that simple. Why should your allies not be allowed to support you? It's kind of the point of team games. That's some logic I simply do not understand. Because of course, if you are having issues, your allies should support you to help stabilize your flank and your front. Because if you want your flank falls, they also fall because they can outflank them. It's as simple as that. Germans are digging in the best they can. Americans are trying to rush up. Like, I don't get no big ups logic here. Let's see, that's gonna be a grenade. That's a satchel shot. Wait, riflemen from what command is that? What command are they? I think they're mechanized or armored. Armor. Armored rifleman gets satchel charges. Yeah, they don't one-shot anymore, which I think is a decent enough change to help the Mthis. Because they kind of needed some help in that regard. We can see full take-up going out for no big ups.
Supply half-track is in action. Standing by for setting of command post.
So if you can get satchel charges? Oh, that might be it might have been composite B. Ah, it was composite B. Okay, that's what happened. Yeah, now, like, look, the Germans have basically overrun this entire flank, so they could circle around and flank the Americans in the center, so, yeah, of course they would need to send support up to cover that flank now. It's as simple as that.
Combat unit ready for action.
I don't see why Nubby Gubs is complaining. I don't get what Nubby Gubs is doing, like, this is some really weird complaining I'm seeing in the team game. I not expect to see that.
Weapon rack is now open.
Americans are supporting the best they can. It's a team game. He has to support his ally when his ally is underperforming at the moment. They need the support. After all, they need to support each other. That's the whole point of a team game. Germans are repairing their forward HQ down here. Takes a little bit of time. They're getting a Pack 40. Oh! We have the SS Aufklarer, a unique unit-able 2 Jäger, armed with a scope gewehr 43 at the moment. Getting some long-range shots here, alongside the Sturm Grenadier, who also have a scope gewehr 43 and also some scope Sturmgewehrs. A lot of long-range scope fire going on. Yeah, I thought it was a satchel charge for the Swiss Rifleman, but it was just composite B. Seems to have the same effects as a satchel charge. Lots of 30 caliber still. That might be a dead machine gun. Nope, it survived. Interesting match so far, but the Americans are certainly having issues. They're doing their best to hold, but they're kinda on the back foot against the Storm Grenadiers, but now they have to pull back for once. Retreating that way too is probably not the best for them because the 30 caliber will start opening fire. scavenging, good to see. Alpha class pushing up with their pack 40. An AT gun opening fire here. Oh, we have double SS Alpha Clara. Oh, this is some unique play. Very expensive, but very good with marksman rifles. I rarely see people use the SS Alpha Clara like this for long-range firepower from cover to cover, but it's probably something they're pretty good at when I consider it. Would say people try something else and use some of their doctrine unique units, but I never ever see people use the normal SS Jäger here, which is like another basic infantry you can get if you're playing as SS Jäger. You just never get them for some reason. I have no idea why. Oh, the SS Alpha Clara might be in trouble now. The Americans are doing a big push. Lots of units on the move. You do have an MG building them back though. I don't think the Americans can move easy, but these SS Alpha Clara are in big trouble. One of them should probably have to run. There they go. After all, very expensive being a 3-man squad. Lots of machine guns here. Yes, the Americans are just sticking in the center, and that Volkskrone here got mowed down. By 3 machine guns working together, that is a lot of bullets. Just taking in, they've got most of their base set up now, so they're definitely ready for the late game now, and they did it quick. Americans are just stuck in the center to an extreme degree. What are they planning on? They don't really have any infantry. I guess the Wehrmacht Panzers is also just digging in and waiting for Panzers. You know, the Mechanized is going to dig in with pillboxes, which is one of the things Mechanized can do. Jägers are trying to push out to take this point, but both sides are just keeping an eye on it. Oh. Medic station got hit there by a pack. Medic, however, is still fighting at the front line with his pistol and his entourage. But this German forward HQ is certainly helping, and indeed we're gonna see the SS Fallschirmjäger. If people ever really go for the Jägers, they just go for the Fallschirmjäger. Just how people play, I suppose. I would like to see more unique units, but I think there are some plans for that according to what I could skim from the Discord about the Spearhead thing. I don't know yet. No, nothing is set in stone at the moment. Lots of mortars now for the Wehrmacht Panzer and the Panzer II command tank. Pillboxes set up here, that'll certainly help. We also have a Stug arriving here for the Mechanized, it's certainly a good choice. Lots of pillboxes. Ooh, this is going to be very hard for the Americans to break through. Jäger's trying to do another push here. We also have an American recon team making sure that the Alpha class gonna sneak up or anything. I think the Alpha class know that. That's why they're getting behind heavy cover here with their geweers. They're probably gonna try and snipe them out. Artillery called in somewhere. Not sure where though. I can just hear it. Oh, over here, okay. Taking out one of the machine. Oh, there's a lack of American AT. They do have 1 3-inch. 2 3-inches actually. Panzer II is getting a lot of work done though, but the French is turning. But Panzer II backs off. Sherman arriving here on the southern flank for the US of A. We also have a Stug on the northern flank now for this Waffen-SS. Artillery called in here on... Oh! High explosive killed the Alpha class! That's an expensive loss here for the Waffen-SS. A good high explosive there from the A2. Germans able to push up further thanks to the axis of the Lux. Meanwhile, the Germans are ducking heavily. Americans are trying to dig in as well on the other side. I'm just waiting to hold on. Lux is pushing up again. The AT gun is decrewed, but there's a second AT gun. That's going to... Oh no, the Lux I think realizes what's going on. A2 Sherman here. I engage with 221. Artillery going in here. It's certainly looking like there's going to be a lot of action going on around here.
Frag grenades now available for action.
And on the northern flank, it's kind of stabilized into a stalemate where neither side is wanting to push.
Enemy fire!
There's a 5780 gun down here. G is pushing up. They're trying to do it into the 57. 80 moving up here to probably try and support the center flank. Another G arriving here for the mechanized. Let's see, not a lot of action now. Well, the Sherman actually moved around here to get back down again evidently. Half-tag taken out by the 57. Good high explosive right there. Another pillbox. Looks like we have a creeping pillboxing going on. We do have another A2 arriving up here. German has now revealed itself. But those are double Stooks. Which is not what the Sherman wants to fight, especially not frontally. Stooks are still doing a lot of work here in the center. But the SAT gun might be able to kill it soon. They're trying to push down here in the southern flank, but the Germans have prepared their packs. Do have the 3rd Infantry Squad to support as well. Lots of movement going on around here. More Shermans arriving, good to see. More Stooks arriving for the Germans as well. That's a very good sight. I like to see people use Stooks. Stooks are pretty nice. But I don't think the Germans are going to be able to set that bunker in time. Yeah, it's been spotted and already getting mowed down. No Panzerfaust on the Volksgrenadier, so they have nothing that can stop it. But there's a Panzerjäger nearby. That gets sighted though with the Panzerschreck. Ball pack also coming up as well, loading a shrapnel rounds. And they get it. Oh, no, sorry, a shaped charge. Which took out the Sherman and short order. Very nice. That people actually forget that this little thing has a shaped charge, which is really good and can really make it punch above its weight. So that small pack is actually useful. German here is being exceedingly lucky. The Stooks are having a hard time maneuvering, but they end up being penetrated, so they're doing fine. I think the Stooks actually have pretty decent frontal armor. It's not as decent as I thought. And not as decent as I thought at all. Ooh, Sherman's getting a little bit too close here, I think. Oh, it did penetrate though. Artillery going in on the southern German flank. Lots of 105 howitzers. Lots of dirty dancing indeed. So the Sherman is winning out in the dance though. Panzer F1 on the field here. Panzer 4H coming onto the field as well. Jäger still have no armor. Just holding up around the train station here the best they can. Or field airdrop in the American base, which the US can do if you're playing as armor. I believe all allies tank-oriented commanders can just airdrop in armor, which is, not armor, fuel, which is pretty handy when you think about it. And give them quite an edge in some capacities. It still feels a little bit weird me trying to talk slower, but I think it's a good thing, and I hope it makes me more understandable. Because I think I noticed that when I spoke very fast, I would sometimes become incomprehensible to others and most other people. And my issue is also that I live in a city in Denmark where it's kind of a tradition, or well, not really a tradition, but our local lingo in Danish is that you speak fast. That's probably where I have it from. So that just translated over to English, that I did it like that. Because where I live in Denmark, we have this joke that what would be several words other places in Denmark. In my place, it's one word. That's like a good common joke about it. That I think a fair few people who live here know. Even have commercials about it sometimes in the cinema, it's funny. You have an M10 here for the United States. Not having any luck hitting the F1 though. Not yet anyway. Yep, no penetration either. Luke's assault's coming up apparently. And the Americans are taking heavy losses in the center here. M10 has a very hard time turning its turrets. It's a crank turret, I think.
Sherman ready to go.
Oh, Pack got a shot there on the Sherman. Didn't penetrate though.
Armor ready. Standing by.
Looks are just ambushing to be ready for the future. Oh, double machine guns on the Storm Grenadier. That's gonna make them very, very lethal. Several Shermans have been prepared though, and the Americans are still digging in.
Machine gun team ready for orders. Ready. Go ahead.
I guess the Wehrmacht Panzers now have their Panzer supports. You have the Panzer 4H here, which is probably the pinnacle of Panzer 4 design. I think it's the best variant of the Panzer 4 you can get. I think it's available to most commanders. Germans also like trying to lay mines now, good to see, and mines are very important for Germans to use. Then MG42 underground? Looks like it is. Germans will probably easily drive up and take out that pack and start damaging that pillbox, but the Stuks are nearby, so hard to say. M10 is doing his best here. Gold Panzer Force prepared down here. Oh, that's a lot of Stuks. Someone complained about something, but I don't know what. Looks like we had a M10 taken out here by the Panzer 4H. And there's some invisible movement blocker somewhere. Now that is a problem, yeah. Dukes are trying to push up here, but they did take out one Sherman, I think.
One of our panzers has been destroyed.
Panzer 4 taken out. Panzer 4 is trying to drive up here, but there's an 80 gun ready. Good penetration. It's going to force that F1 back. Max and dug in very heavily here. We might soon see howitzers for the Mechanisierte, because they can get the Immergrün, which is like the unique howitzer to SS Mechanized. I don't think the other German commanders really have any active artillery stuff. Americans do have a ranger here, so they could actually get the long tom as well, so it might be the northern flank where all the artillery will be located. That close the pocket? I'm not sure close the pocket is going to do too much. Mostly because the Americans are not cut off. But random mortar shells will land along the front line, which I think is a little bit strong at the moment. It probably shouldn't do anything unless that, you know, that's actually, they actually cut off. That's just my opinion. Because currently it can actually do a lot of damage by just having a shared front line. At least to infantry, that is. But I think close to pocket really needs to only work if they're cut off. I'm not sure how the code for that is, so I don't really know how to add anything to that. We have several American mortars now. Americans trying to set up a new Fort HQ with one re-echelon doing it. He's gonna work very, very hard. With a tiller mine there.
Crew, get ready.
And 2 loops in the field again. But got hit by AT gun. Will it finally be enough to destroy the Command 2? Yeah, Command Panzer 2 is down. That took them long enough. A2 driving up. Panzer Strike hits it. And then the small pack takes it out. Never underestimate the small pack. It's surprisingly useful. Artillery down there by the looks of it. We have an EC8 coming out for the US Armor, and the EC8 is the pinnacle of Sherman design, I'd say. Easily outclassing the Panzer IV-H in all aspects, I think. Not a pillbox setup, but it no longer has its gunner because it's been hit. You have a certain amount of HP to have its gunner. They might be trying to restore here. There we go, now it has its gunner again. Oh, F1 pushing up here. Ooh, not looking good here. Yeah, the Central American flank is completely being overrun here by the Wehrmacht. Don't have a lot of stuff to stop them. And I've been shelled into oblivion. I think this EC8 might have to rush for the center. Because the United States Tank Destroyer company is a complete disarray. We're also seeing a ship from the northern flank being relocated to help. Or just a ship from the northern flank. Looks like the EC8 will not go now. Go to the center. This A2 is going to have a problem against the Panzer IV. The H anyway. Smoke popped. Also Stuke's geared up. And the Storm Pioneers just keep trying to repair this pillbox as it gets shot at. Chunks of concrete being blown out of it. 50 caliber on top here will start opening up. Taking good damage out of those Hawks Grenadier. You see it still ready on the southern flank. Like a Panzer IV got taken out there by the AT guns. Panzer IV-H trying to push up here, but it needs infantry support. Running straight into an anti-tank team. Doesn't penetrate though. Good shot from the A2. Panzer IV is probably not getting out of here. Oh, it didn't penetrate. Oh, and it managed to miss too. So that Panzer IV took it out of there. That's very rare. Several EC8s are being geared up. I think we're going to see a huge American armor push on the southern flank. Because who's being called here by the Waffen-SS. And the Rangers are just taking in the best they can.
There's a major reporting for action.
That's going to be a lot of EC8s. I don't think the Germans can hold this once they push. They do have those 2 packs, and they do have Panzerfausts, so just we'll have to see. And the Americans are doing the push soon. Oh, they're actually doing the push now. Not even waiting for the last EC8. Pack's supposed to be being loaded. One pack cleared out. They need to focus the next one. Mobility has been damaged though. Both pack teams taken out. We have a Panzer Strike team on the Storm Pioneers. But they moved to grab the pack, which I don't actually think was the better choice because they're still under a lot of machine gun fire. Germans are holding up pretty well here. A2 took a hit though. But the EC8s are so much more armored. Oh, penetration, over penetration of that. Another EC8 arriving. Machine guns are getting a lot of work done. Back in infantry needs to push up as well. Not a lot of American infantry yet. Captain is overseeing it though. Yeah, I think the Jaegers have just lost the southern flank. They are getting a Panther behind us, however. That's the power of the EC8s. Very good tank, the EC8. Probably my favorite Sherman. Ah, we gotta see the Emo going to set up now. See it hit back here. That will certainly be a big problem for the US of A. And now the EC8s could flank here. It might be fast because it's an EC8. Like, the EC8 is pretty freaking fast, so... Got a very good chassis and suspension on it. Oh, this Panzer IV might be in trouble. Now the EC8s are gonna flank it. Missed. But it does have a very high rate of fire. I believe it's because of how the, what's it called? The part of the gun where you put the shell in is how it's designed. Then once it fires, you can just slide the next shell in immediately. Like, it's a very well designed thing in the EC8. I've seen it somewhere, I just don't remember where. Oh, that's not good. EC8 might be in trouble here. Smoke popped. About Ladnung. Doesn't do enough. M10 up here. Got a good shot down the Stuk. Yeah, it is hard to fight the EC8s. Oh, Imogrin is gonna fire. It's gonna be a creeping barrage. It's gonna completely wreck the American front line, I think. We also have a second Imogrin coming up. Actually, already is up. If that also creeping barrage too, I think it's definitely the end of the US of A.
One of our fighting positions is sustaining fire.
Man, it's just destroying the United States front line here. Yeah, here's the second one. This one not doing a creeping barrage though. They just completely destroyed the Rangers' defensive position with the immigrants. And they have Panthers on the southern flank, which will certainly be able to fight the EC8s at range frontally, I think. But if the EC8s could outmaneuver the Panther, they would be in trouble. But the United States have just lost so much here. They're destroying all the AT guns to the night into the US of A, to the Germans, I mean. They're gonna steal one pack though. Oh, good shot on the Panther there with that 3-inch. But it's in range of the SS Fallschirmjäger. And SS Fallschirmjägers are pretty competent, but that's a lot of firepower coming our way from all these EC8s. Yeah, they've already been pinned completely. Yusuf is also firing. The Northern American flank is completely overrun. I think the Americans need to relocate units to help. But what could they send up there to help? I suppose the EC8s, but there are Teller mines waiting. Actually, that's a Regal mine and a Teller mine. Ooh, together. That's a very nasty combination. Also, they'll close the pocket activated at the same time. Germans doing their best here, but they're being hit by the Stuks. They're not looking good here for the Americans. That's why the Americans need to support the northern flank at this point, because it's just being overrun. They're not sending any support to it. There we go, now they're sending something, but it might be a little bit too late. Suga missed. It's not good. And the Immergrüns at some point will be ready to fire again, and they'll do a lot of work. Looks are pushing. There's a lack of American things to stop it. And the northern flank has just been completely neutered. No pushing on the southern flank yet. I think the EC8s might want to consider relocating. Ah, we are going to see a Pershing though. The Pershing should probably head to the northern flank, at least for now, when it gets out there, because they probably need to get something to help push back the Waffen-SS up here. But the Pershing is not as good as you'd think, because I think it was actually reclassified as a medium tank after the war, because it really did not fulfill what a heavy tank should be. But it was the heaviest tank the United States had. It has less armor than the Panther, I think. Yeah, it has less frontal armor than the Panther. But looks like it's going to go for the southern flank, which I think is a wasted opportunity to help. At least the Germans aren't pushing aggressively at the moment, they're just bombing everything into oblivion. Easier than German on the push here. We're going to have a little bit of a tank fight. Panthers engaging, the Panthers will win this fight handily. One penetration on one of them though. I just see him under fire. Oh! That was a rocket something? Not sure what, but artillery going into the train station. EC8s can just lay down a lot of firepower, so there is that. They're rushing forwards. I think it's because of flanking speeds. I didn't see that zoom. That kind of seemed a little bit out of nowhere, but I think it was just flanking speed. If the Germans are pushing up here, there's nothing to stop them. Nothing to stop them at all. Pershing and EC8 trying to push up. Good high explosive there, killed a lot of the Germans. Ooh, the Pershing is going to try and engage with the Panthers here. But the Panthers just back off. Oh, the Panther. Only one Panther at the moment. And the US could still make a breakthrough here, but the northern flank is looking very perilous. Yeah, both sides are moving up on each other's fuel point at this point. Americans are securing the German fuel point, but the Germans have already secured the American fuel point. Now the Imogen is gonna fire in the center. Like, I don't get why Nobs was complaining when now... Like, Nobby, stop talking like that, because it's a team game. If you don't want to have issues like that, don't play team games. It's that simple. I don't get the logic behind that. Explosive loaded. Yep, Maverick is probably very right about that. He would do it anyway.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
The other Panthers here going to engage with the Shermans. Are looking good here. As the northern flank is just completely fallen to the Germans now, so the American front line is in deep peril. Maverick is in desperation trying to get a... Oh, that's a jumper actually. That might actually help somewhat. I need to see, but it's going to be a hard sell because the center flank of the United States is completely collapsed too because of those Imoguns that have turned their guns now on the center. The Americans still have a chance with the armored company doing their best down here, but those Panthers could probably keep the Americans at bay for a while. That could buy the German army enough time, well, the Waffen-SS really, enough time to break through and destroy the American base. Need to see if this Jumbo can do anything. That's going to be a very risky thing, because the Jumbo is pretty heavily armored, but looks to have a pretty decent gun and rate of fire. It also lacks infantry some spot for it. And Jumbo, as I said, is heavily armored. Like, so far it's holding up. But all it takes is like 1 or 2 penetrations and it's gone. The Americans need to provide more. That's a lot of Stooks, holy shit. One penetration of the jumbo though, and now it's basically out of the fight. Look at all those Stooks moving. So many Stooks. Command team running off the battlefield over that direction. I guess they're deserting. Or perhaps they were heading to behind the American lines to surrender. When yeah, the Stooks are now just driving into the American base. That's why the Americans need to send support to the northern flank long ago, I think. I think an EC8 or the Pershing on the northern flank would probably have helped a lot. That's just my opinion, of course. I don't know how these people play and what they do.
Suppressive fire! Suppressive fire! Gunsport, knockdown!
Yeah, the American front line is completely gone.
Enemies are swarming one of our emplacements. Send orders!
And the Stooks is just doing a lot of work here.
Good hit!
Oh, there's a Packard and an 80 gun back here to try and help.
Heavy armor has been lost.
Will it be enough? I don't think so. They are actually killing a lot of the Stooks. Americans just need to get more infantry out though to help. Armor company is making a push. They are taking out the Panthers. The US could turn this around if they could just keep this flank going. Ah, but there's a Panzer rig on the flank here. Pershing also got taken out. That's not good. Now this EC8 is overextending.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, not good. Not good for this EC8. And the Stooks are still just causing issues here. That EC8 was taken out, we can hear it. Havoc does get one last Sherman 76, and we also have a Jackson, but a little bit too late at this point. Plus the fact the Stooks are facing into themselves is just a relic thing. Ah, but now they're losing a lot of the Stooks. Yeah, the US have just lost too much too fast. I think the armor company should probably have dispersed the Sherman or something to support the northern flank earlier. To avoid this outflanking. That's why you need to support your allies in team games and even double up on someone if you know they're getting the upper hand. But you need to do stuff like that to avoid a flank like this happening, which can just destroy the entire team, as you can see. Man, that's a 2 taken out. So the Americans are not keen on surrendering yet, which honestly surprises me, but it's probably just a spite commentary, I'd imagine.
Looks like we're getting into the excitement.
I'm probably gonna get some harsh comments on this video, potentially. I'm just saying things how I feel they are. I don't mean any offense with it, but if people take offense to what I say, that's unfortunately just how it is. Oh, good high explosive there from the Jackson.
Infantry unit being wiped out.
I think we can save the speed up, because I don't think anything's gonna be happening for a while. That's I'm trying to prepare.
Rear echelon squad ready for action.
Yeah, not a lot has happened. Oh. Ah, they're stealing the Stooks. Unfortunately, I don't think they can say that one because Stook is coming up to stop it.
Send your orders. Standing by.
One Stook there killed.
Standing by. Well, got it ranged. Armor inbound. Taking rocket fire.
And it's just been completely gone here for the US of A. And the Americans are still someone holding on down here.
Send orders.
Not sure how. Let's just speed up time again because I don't think anything is going to happen. We also have a Tiger tank now for the Wehrmacht pushing in.
Stand ready. Prepare the attacks. Counter.
This one's out of control. It's just being very wonky. Honestly, I'd hope the out of control thing could be removed because it's just silly.
We just
Looks like both Stooks have actually been taken out. And Panthers preparing to push. And the Americans are just refusing to surrender for some reason. There's not a lot else happening here. When we looking down here, it's gonna go for this Tiger, but that did not work because of the Panzerjäger. We get one penetration off, but... And we do see another Pershing, but... At this point, the USG just surrendered a long time ago, I think. Yeah, there they go. A little bit too late, I think. Anyway, this was a little bit of a weird match, I'd say, because of the complaints for no reason. But I'll see you all next time, everyone. Bye-bye!